What's up everyone and welcome to the club. Today we're creating a sketch illustration of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. Welcome everyone and thanks for joining me today. For this lesson we'll need a sketch pad and a pencil. I'm going to start my sketch off with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick, but you're welcome to use whatever you'd like. Let's begin by adding a guideline coming down the center of our page, starting from the very top in the middle. Just going to lightly work our way down towards the bottom using these short lines. Now I'm going to move back to the center and draw another line going across from left to right. And this line will help us keep our drawing straight. Now with our guidelines in place, we want to define the basic shape of the head, which looks like an oval. So along this horizontal line, let's move out to the side. I'm just going to mark this off. Right about there. Let's take that same distance over towards the right side from the center. Now along this vertical line, we want to go a little bit lower. So right about here, take this distance down towards the bottom. Now each of these points will create an oval with a curve going around, starting with the left side. And this doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to capture the size and basic shape of the head. Go all the way around and just smooth this out. Now from the side of our oval, let's draw two straight lines coming down the side of the neck. Now we want to go in and define the key features of the head, starting with the eyes. From that center line, let's move over towards the left to right about here. Just going to mark off the inside edge of the eyes. Now I want to take the same distance from the center over towards the right and do the same thing. Going down towards the bottom. Now along the bottom of our oval, let's step up. I'm just going to mark off the tip of the nose. Let's leave a small gap in the center. Go to the left side. It's going to curve the nostril, going up and then out towards the left and right side. Now from the ends, we're going to draw a curve. We're going to go up. It's going to hit this point right here, going up and just bend that out towards the side. Now let's tuck the eyes in underneath the eyelid. Let's start from the very top on the left. We're going to draw a circle going all the way around. And just tuck that in on the inside. Let's do the same thing on the right. We're just going to line this up, going all the way around the eye, and then up underneath the eyelid. Now the shape of the pupils looks almost like a rectangle. So let's start from the very top of the eyelid, come straight down, go across and in, and then up. Let's do the same thing on the right. We're just going to line this up. Just tuck that in underneath the eyelid. Let's go back to the center point. Just going to curve the brow. Just going to follow that curve, going across and then out towards the sides. And this will help us enhance the brow area. Let's move up to the top of the head. Draw two straight lines going up, across the horns. Now from the top, just going to round this out. I'm going to go out, come down, and then in towards the edge of the brow. Let's add a point in the center of the head. We're going to come down and out like a triangle. Let's move out to the side, add two small points. Let's add those extensions across the side of the head, starting from the base of the horn. Start by curving this up and out. Round this out. Come down and in towards the side of the oval. Now I want to add a few more on either side. So on the left, we come down, round this out and pull that in. It's almost like drawing a half oval. Let's add a smaller one, coming down and then up. I'm going to add one more, just a small half circle. Now that we've defined a rough sketch, I'm going to go back in and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. Now we're going to use this rough sketch as a guide to help us layer on some more detail and refine the shapes. Now I want to start with the bottom edge of the brow. Just going to pull this down and in, a little closer. Let's round this out, going down towards the nostrils. Let's curve the nostrils, just bending that in towards the center. And then just round that out. Let's wrap this around the eyes. Go back and just smooth out the eye on the bottom. Just going to add a fold along the outside. Now from the eyes, just going to work our way out, adding some more details. Let's round up the pupils along every side. And I'm just going to draw a light line going across the center to define the edge of the highlight and shadow. Now this extension on the side of the head is going to blend into the mouth. So we're going to come up, go inside, round out the mouth, and come down. Do the same thing on the right. I just want to bend the mouth, coming in towards the center, just underneath the nose, and then back up. Just going to blend this in towards that second extension, coming around the chin. Just going to bring that down a little bit lower in the middle. And then tuck the third one underneath. Now on the side of the hair, we're just going to add a small fold. Now let's blend that top horn in towards the side of the head. So just adding a curve along the side of the temple, going out toward the top. Now it's going to round out the tip. Coming around, I'm just going to bend that back in and then down. I'm just going to pull this up toward the center point and also round out that point. And I want to add some more points coming down the center of the head, starting from the front, going up and then down, and then just add more going up towards the top. Add a little bit of shape to the outside of the neck. And then we'll go back and do one final cleanup before we add our detail and contrast. Now I'm going to switch my pencil to a 0.9mm to get the contrast. So I'm going to start back at the nose and middle. It's going to darken up the nostrils. Just work our way around, going up towards the eyes. I'm just going to darken up the top edge of the eyelid and just wrap this around the inside. Also darken up the inside coming out. I'm just going to lightly darken up the outside perimeter of the eye. And I just want to lightly fade that in. Just gradually coming across and then in. Now we're going to take this line, just rough this up to capture some reflection in the background. So I just got the reflection of some trees and mountaintops. Now we just want to darken up the top and then fade that down towards the bottom. I'm also going to darken up the bottom area of the pupils inside that reflection, so you get a little bit of highlight along the top. And I'm just going to add some light textures going around the eye. Just pulling the short lines going up and then in towards the pupil. Now from here, we're just going to work our way around, going up along the middle of those horns and those spikes. Now starting from the center of the head, we're just going to add these little scales, these little circles going all the way around. We want to vary the size of these and just filling in the inside areas. I'm just going to work our way around the area in between the brow and then just fade that up and out. You want to come down the center of the face. And as you get out to the side, we can go a little bit lighter, but going darker in the center. And these don't have to be perfect circles. They can be almost like ovals or rounded triangles. And we'll go smaller as we come down toward the tip of the nose. So add some lighter ones along the outside. I'm just going to lightly add some across the top of the mouth, going up towards the eyes, and then fade that out towards the side. I'm going to add those spots across some of these extensions, across the side of the head. And with the ones along the side, I'm just going to focus on adding these across the top and just fading them down. Now with these larger horns, we're going to add larger scales. So starting from the top, so I'm going to go a bit darker along the top and outside edge. You can see that I'm just filling in all the gaps, and we'll fade that towards the inside. Also fading as we come down towards the head. Add a few tension lines across the neck. And then go back and just darken up some of the areas across the bottom of some of these larger scales. It's almost like resembling a little bit of a shadow. You want to imagine that the light's coming from the top, coming down across our character. So the highlights will sit along the top edge of each shape, and the shadows across the bottom. I'm just going to darken up the underside of the eyelid and then fade that down around the eyes. And then on the outside of the horn, I'm just going to add a core shadow. So just stepping in to create a bit of a highlight edge. I'm just going to darken this up and then in, almost giving it a reflective surface. Do the same thing to each of these extensions, coming down. We're going to do the same thing across the bottom edge of the brow. So again, just leaving a little gap so we have a highlight, and then just taper that off to the tip of the nose. Now the head's going to cast a shadow across the neck. So starting on the left side, I'm just going to lightly sketch a line coming down, rounding this out, and going back up towards the right. Let's shade that inside area. I want to go a little bit darker across the top. Now, as we get closer to the end, we're just going to tighten up our shadows and detail, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you do, please be sure to subscribe for more videos each week. We're all showing how to draw different characters just like this. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.